Hi everyone, welcome back to Student Pages Spotlight series. I'm your host Izzy, and today I'm joined by the incredibly talented Melbourne artist duo Charm of Finches. Thank you so much for joining me today, and how are you both doing?
Good, yeah, thanks for having us.
No, our pleasure. I'm super excited. So I'll dive straight in. Huge congratulations. And how has your new single helped to inspire your creative process?
So Meteor was written in the last couple of years when we were back in Australia. We're from Melbourne. The song really captures that sort of the awe that we felt around nature and sort of linking that with the internal world as well and how they sort of echo each other in a way. And I think that's something that we have got coming through in a lot of our new songs is we're always inspired by the places that we go to on our travels. A lot of touring over the past couple of years, and wherever we go, we sort of feel inspired and end up writing about all the places and the people we meet.
Awesome. And so you're scheduled to begin your 2 month tour of the UK on the 18th of February in London. So, as you said, you take a lot of inspiration from your touring and where the places that you go, but what are you most excited about for your tour and what can your fans expect to see?
I'm really excited to play the Grace in London. It looks like a beautiful venue, lots of disco balls, which is a very cool vibe.
I'm keen to play the Jam Jar in Bristol. We haven't played that one before, so that'll be a fun new one. And
It's nice to go back to places we've been before and see people that we met last time.
stay on their couches.
And so, could you give us a little bit of background about how you got into the music industry and why you chose this direction?
Well, we started very young when we were teenagers, and Mabel, when she was 14, she did a school project where she wrote 6 of her original songs and decided to record them for this project. And I, as the younger sibling, tagged along and sung all the harmonies on the CD. And we printed that CD, and after that we felt, we really enjoyed that process and loved writing our own songs and really stuck into it after that.
Yeah, it was sort of addictive. After the first few songs, we couldn't stop writing.
And so, we just continued doing that, and now we are 12 years on or more and about to record our 5th album.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so you've talked about how especially Meteor takes a lot of inspiration from the nature and stuff that you've seen. And I love your sound. To me, it feels very whimsical and unique. And to anyone that's not familiar with your music, how would you describe your music and what do you think makes it stand out?
It's all about the sibling harmonies. Yeah, we've been harmonizing since we were very young, and that's kind of the main sort of core of the music. But I play guitar and Ivy plays keys and violin, and it's I guess we call it indie folk, but there's lots of inspiration from, the folk music that we grew up with, and the Celtic influence, but then also the more sort of contemporary indie references.
And so I'm sure having each other to lean on throughout this whole process has been really helpful. But could you tell us a little bit about the people in your life who have inspired you to strive to where you are now?
I think our parents were always really supportive of us. Our dad is obsessed with Bob Dylan. He played Bob Dylan around the house and when we were kids, and that sort of really influenced, our love for music and songwriting.
And our mum ran choirs in the schoolyard when we were children to be around a lot of harmony singing, and so that probably influenced us a lot.
So you came from a very musical background then. And so the pursuit of your dream is never easy. Could you tell us about how you've ever dealt with hate or anything through the rise of your career and how you've overcome this?
Regardless about what people think, I think we always make music because it speaks to us and it feels truthful to us, and if people connect to it, that's awesome, and so far people really have. And if they don't, that's fine as well. And if they want to express mean things, that's okay. Just I'll go on my way and you go on yours.
Well, it's really great that you've got such a community and such a fan base. And so we've already discussed you've got a very specific sound. So how important was it for you to find people in the industry that were in sync with the music that you were looking to produce?
I think it's really important. Yeah, I think the people that we choose to collaborate with, it's always a really important decision that we, take really seriously. And then when we find someone who we really gel with, we love to work with that person, and often we work with them again, and strengthen the sort of the magic that we can create together. So for instance, the last producer we worked with, his name's Daniel Ledwell. He lives in Canada, which is where we recorded our last album. We went over to his studio over in the middle of winter, and there was a lot of snow, and that was amazing. And the reason we recorded that one with him was because the previous album we recorded ourselves during lockdown, and then we sent him all the files and he produced it but remotely, and that went really well. And then so we decided to do an album in person.
Awesome. And I bet that was such a cool experience as well, getting to be in Canada and enjoying the surroundings there. Like you said, I'm sure you took some inspiration from your time there also. But music aside, what do you enjoy in your free time? What are you getting up to on your weekends?
We are really loving the vintage shopping over here.
Yeah.
So we're based in Glasgow for a bit, and we actually took a day trip to Edinburgh the other day, and we just spent all day vintage shopping. That was really fun.
And so, like we've already said, there's social media can be a weird place. Our world now is very much centered around social media. What do you think are the positives and negatives of utilizing social media during the growth of your career in the industry, and how important do you think it is to use social media to push yourselves out there?
Yeah, I think it's a powerful tool to use, definitely. And especially when people from all over the world can find you so easily. I think that's really cool. Yeah, connecting with people on all sides of the world, and we're like, what? I've never heard of this place, but someone's asking us to go play there, which is really funny. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's lovely. And, we'll often do covers and pop them up, and it's good. But also, I think you want to make sure that you're doing your art as making that the primary focus, and like putting most time into that.
And so, is there any specific piece of advice that you would give to anyone looking to get into the music industry?
I think maybe just hone your craft and really get to know your voice as an artist and what you want to share that feels truthful to you.
And put yourself out there and make as many musician friends as you can.
A lot of networking then. And so, what do you think in your career has been your biggest challenge so far?
Making our album during lockdown maybe was a
Mm.
big challenge. We made it in Mabel's tiny bedroom, and we had a makeshift vocal booth made out of three mic stands put up as high as they could go, and then big duvets and blankets draped over in the middle of summer. It was
Which
very
was, in hindsight, probably a not great idea.
no, it was ridiculous. But yeah, it was a great learning experience, but a very long process.
It's been really good to have a producer that's not like either of us.
Not a sibling.
When it's a sibling, you feel like you can say whatever you want, and it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I feel like that must have been such an experience as well, doing that during lockdown. It might have been really difficult, but I'm sure it's something you'll remember, be it like sweltering under those duvets in the summer. And so my final question for you, I can imagine that you're really focused on preparing for your tour right now, but is there anything that you're working on specifically right now?
Yeah, well, we are writing and in the process of recording a new record. Yeah, so Meteor is the first single off the new release, so we'll be tinkering away at that stuff this year and sort of bringing out songs here and there. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear them. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the recent singles, so I can't wait to hear what's coming out. That is all we've got for today, so thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you both. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you all later.